Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over a list of 5 things that are either cheap or free that you can change on your C7 Corvette to make it look and function way better. And this stuff here does not make it look or function any better. Hey guys, so everything on this list is actually free, except for one thing, and that is going to be the black lug nuts. So this is kind of a two-part situation. Depending on the year of your car, the 2015s and 16s came with a center cap here that had a chrome ring and the flag was outlined in chrome. I changed that out as well as added black lug nuts. In my opinion, that is one of the things that has changed the look of this car massively. So that center cap, just popping that out and putting in the black ring one, it made it look 100 times better. Then I put on the black lug nuts and somehow it made it look even more betterer. Just kidding, but it did make it look a lot better. Now, like I said, everything else on the list aside from those lug nuts and those center caps is going to be free. The lug nuts were actually made by a company called Magard, and they make some really high quality stuff. So basically what makes them high quality is the fact that they won't rust. The coating is applied in a different way than just painted on. It's basically electrostatically, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'll link it in the description down below, but honestly, they are very quality stuff. I've had them on and off there probably 3 or 4 times, and every time I look them over, they still don't look like anything's ever happened. They don't look like they've ever been tightened on or taken off. There's no scratches, no scuff marks, none of the paint's coming off or anything like that, so they're high quality stuff. The center cap here is obviously straight from GM. It's an OEM piece. I will link the product number in the description down below. If you guys have a 15 or 16 and this had the chrome piece on it, feel free to check that out. Especially with the black wheels, this just flows so much better. Obviously, if you have the chrome rims or even the silver rims, you're not going to want to do black lug nuts or the black center cap. So this really only applies to people with the black rims. But as you can see, I mean, it just looks so much better with everything there being blacked out since the wheel is black, especially with that red caliper behind there. It just looks fantastic. Now, the next piece of information, like I said, the rest of them are free, is going to be the headlights. Now, the stock headlights on the Corvette are really, really, really menacing looking. They look fantastic, but at night, at least not from the factory, they don't really spread the light out far enough. Ultimately, what we're going to do here is actually adjust these headlights to shine up a little bit further so they cast the light further out in front of you. Now, for me, this was a big thing because the first day I got the car, the light output was great. It just didn't seem like it cast far enough. I came in here and adjusted them, and now they're perfect. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Once we're under the hood, you can come down here and you'll actually see these black pieces of plastic that only come from here down, and they're on both sides. So they're just held on there with some clips. If we grab it and pull it, you'll actually unclip it. And in here you'll see that's where the actual headlight adjustment's at. So these are literally just there to cover up the headlight adjustment so you don't see just 2 nasty holes sticking out of your engine bay. It's this elongated hole right here where you're going to want to go in with a Allen key, and you can see it right there. So basically you would put an Allen key in there and you turn it. One way, of course, will aim the headlights down further, and the other way will aim the headlights up. I only had to turn it about 3 full turns and the headlights were perfect. The best way to do it is to park in front of a garage door somewhere where it's perfectly level and turn on your headlights. Then get in there, start turning that bolt and see where the headlights go. Move them up just ever so slightly and see how it looks for you at night. If you want it more, just repeat the process. Obviously, the passenger side is the exact same deal, so you want to obviously make the headlights both level. You're going to do that side as well. And then once you're done, just clip this piece of plastic back on there and you're good to go. Now, the last 3 things are actually going to all be done inside the car. Everything we're doing today in the car, you're going to need it to be in accessory mode. So either start the car and have it running, or press and hold the start button for 10 seconds. Everything comes on just as it would if the car was running. The third thing we're going to talk about today is going to be, of course, the dual mode exhaust. One of the very first things I did with this car as soon as I bought it was go into the settings here and make it so that exhaust was in track mode all the time, regardless of what actual mode I was in. Most of the time I drive the car, I have it in sport mode, but I want that exhaust note to constantly be in track because I like me some loud exhaust. And honestly, the exhaust sounds fantastic. I don't know why you'd want to muffle it or baffle it. Sometimes I guess I could get it if your neighbors are asleep and you're coming home real late. But for me, my exhaust is basically stock and I don't really have any neighbors that care too much about it. So this thing is on track all the time. For those of you who don't know how to do it, we're going to go into settings. Then we're going to go to driving mode, engine sound management. And this is where we would basically change it. So you can have it set on auto, which will, of course, just mimic whatever mode your car is actually in. Stealth, which closes the baffles and makes it as quiet as possible. Tour is also pretty much as quiet as possible. Sport is somewhere in between the two, and track is the loudest. As you can see, I have a check mark there with track already, but you can select any one of these at any given time. If it's up to me, I would tell you select that track one and never come back into this menu. The fourth thing on this list is also going to be, of course, in the settings in the car, is for the people who have a 2LZ or 3LZ with the auto seat setup. So ultimately what it's going to do is when you hit the seat exit button or when you shut off the car and open the door, your steering wheel will move back up to the up position, in as far as it will go, and your seat will move as far back as possible. Basically, it will make it easier for you to get in and out of the car. Once you step back in, close the door, and press the start button, it will go back into your favorite driving position. This was a fantastic feature. I loved it. It's definitely something that you need for a car that sits low like this, and it just makes it more convenient. But whenever I first got it, it wasn't working. For some reason, whenever I would hit the button over here to go into my favorite position, the steering wheel would just drop just a tiny bit, and then that was it. The seat wouldn't move, nothing else would happen. And after playing around with it for a while, I realized we had to do something specific to get it back to where it would be working. So we would go into settings, into vehicle, into comfort and convenience, and under auto memory recall, go in there, turn that off. Go back, also turn off easy exit options. With both of those turned off, you're then going to come over here, move the seat and the steering wheel to where you want them to be, as well as the side view mirrors. Once you have everything set up the way you want it, hit set and then hold down number 1. That will set your favorite driving position. Next, you would move the seat back all the way, the steering wheel up and in all the way, and then you're going to press set and then the exit option, which is the one on the far right. Once you do that, you can then come back over to here, go back into auto memory recall, make sure that that is turned on with the ignition if that's how you want it, and also easy exit options is turned on. Then your seat and steering wheel will work perfectly just like they're supposed to. Now, the fifth thing. And it's one of the more important ones as far as I'm concerned. Because the car has a push button starter, it's kind of implied that you're never really gonna have to take the keys out of your pocket. And that includes when you get out of the car and you wanna lock it. So one of my favorite features was, again, going into settings, going into vehicle, under power door locks, first off, making sure auto door lock was set to unlock at least the driver door or all doors. And then also coming down to remote lock, unlock, and start. Passive door lock. You turn that on and then you're good to go. So basically what will happen from here is every time I step out of the car, I close the door, walk away from it. Once this car doesn't detect the remote any longer, it automatically locks the doors. The next time I come up to the car, all I have to do is put my fingers in the actual door handle and it will unlock the door. The key literally never has to come out of my pocket. This is a really great feature, and with any car that has a push button start, this should definitely be something that's turned on. Finally, I'm going to show you the auto lock feature. So if you have the keys and the windows actually have to be up, go ahead and close the door. And with the keys here, we can see the car visually lock without me pressing any of the buttons. There it is. So now the car is locked and I didn't have to press anything on this key. It could have been in my pocket the whole time. And then whenever I want to come back up to the car and get in, I don't need the keys again. Just push the pad in here and it automatically unlocks it and opens. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions about any of the stuff we talked about here today, put them in the comment section down below or shoot me an email, horse.power.obsessed@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to hear from you, and I'd love to talk about any of this stuff with you in more detail if you want to know more. But anyway, subscribe if you haven't yet. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.